Welcome back to Mad Marketing's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be discussing SEO audits. I've been scouring the internet looking for examples of other people showing SEO audits, and something that I've realized is they're not entirely SEO focused. They talk about the elements of the landing page in terms of the sign up form, the offer, the email follow-ups. So those things are great, right? And obviously they need some focus. However, that isn't what SEO is. So today I'm going to be talking about an SEO audit. More specifically, I'm going to be talking about a content audit. There are multiple parts for an SEO audit, and that's going to be in separate videos where I'll talk about the technical aspects of an SEO audit. Today I'm going to focus on some on-page ranking factors that you want to make sure you are paying attention to. This audit, you'll be able to do it on your own. If you needed myself or someone from my team to do it for you, we're happy to do that. Just visit madmarketingpro.com. Again, that's madmarketingpro.com. Go to our contact page. Let us know that you're looking to get a free audit of your site, and we'll see what we can do for you. Well, we'll definitely be able to do it for you. And today we're going to be looking at this page here, this blog article that we wrote some time ago, Brand Strategy 101, a beginner's guide to branding your business, right? So this is one of our most popular articles. Most of our visitors, subscribers find us through this article, actually. And so what I have here at the top is the Moz bar. It's a free extension offered by Moz, right? But before I jump into that, I'm going to list off some of the things that we're going to be paying attention to. So we want to look out for our H1 tags. What are our H1 tags? That's our heading tag, right? And so we'll be able to see that here. H1 tag. See? So this article in itself, you can already see it, has Brand Strategy 101, multiple H1 tags. See, these dots here are representing a new H1 tag. This is too many H1 tags. However, we can check off the fact that it's not missing any, right? However, it has too many. So what the best thing to do to fix this issue is come back in here, look where this is, product brand strategy. Now, where is that on this page? Here. So this is an H1 tag. However, it should be an H2 tag. You can have multiple H2 tags. Ideally, you want one H1 tag. So we're not missing any H1 tags, but we do need to eliminate or change the formatting for these other H1 tags, right? So moving on. The next thing we're going to look at on our list is our title. Our meta title is the length of our meta title. So recommended is 60 characters at the most. And if we look, this is our page title or our meta title. We have 79 characters here. So this title is too long, right? And what this is telling me is that I can shorten it. So because it's over 60 characters, there's a good chance that in Google, when you're doing a Google search, that the title is concatenated, meaning people may not be seeing the full thing. And I will be pulling that up here, and so we can see it for ourselves. So I'm just going to type in Brand Strategy 101, and whenever this comes up, here. So you can see here that our title is indeed concatenated. We're not getting the full title right here. Brand Strategy 101, a beginner's guide to branding your, and the rest is cut off. So the branding your business, and then our boilerplate, which is the name of our brand. This is cut off from right here. Okay, moving on. So if you come across a page on your site where you have over 60 characters for your meta title, you can go in there and you can change it. And so that's the next part. The next part after that is similar. It's title too short, right? You have up to 60 characters, and ideally you want to use up to 60 characters. You want to make sure that you're getting your message fully across, because 60 characters is not a lot. And a lot of the time where you will see an issue where your title is too short, I want to see if I can find an example here, would be pages like your about page. And so that's not coming up, but let's see. Like right here, see, about, and then our boilerplate, mad marketing. That's it. So this would be too short. Pages like your about page, your contact us page, your services page, they will have the issue of title too short. However, a general services page or your about page or contact page isn't so important to your business goals to really worry about that title length, right? Just make sure that the content created on the actual website is created well, and it provides value, and it does what it is supposed to do. So moving on now, description. We have two, just like the title. We can always go in and bring it up like this. Yes, I've been doing this for years. No, I don't always remember the ideal length. So we can see here our meta descriptions can be any length, but Google generally truncates snippets to 155 to 160 characters. So we're going to talk about this. So you have up to 160 characters, or if you're using SERP you have about 980 pixels, right? So when your description is too short, that means you're falling way below that 155 to 160 character range. What you would want to do is beef up your meta description a little bit more and provide a little bit more insight or value to the searcher, right? And then the other way is that your description is too long. You're going well over that 160 character recommendation, right? So now here's something that was in play. At some point, Google allowed meta descriptions to be about somewhere just over 300 characters. At that time, what you would want to do is write a meta description that gets your full message across within the first 160 characters, and then in the remaining 150 characters or so, you would add additional value, additional information. So what would happen is Google randomly, I think they were testing it, they would randomly choose different SERPs, like items in the SERP, to show past that 160 character limit. You cannot control whether or not you would be shown. However, if you did create a meta description over the 160 limit, there would be a chance for you to show that 320 character limit in the SERP. And so ideally, what that does for you is it takes up more real estate on the Google search page and provides a greater likelihood of your site getting clicked. And so you can still try that today, but you always want to make sure that everything that you need to say is within that 160 characters and that you're not below 140 characters in your meta description. I'm going to list some tools in the description below that you can use. There is character counter and SERP sim. Those are going to be some things you can use. I'll also include a link to the Moz bar here so that you can see other elements here. So then there's thin content. Thin content. What is thin content, right? Thin content is a page that doesn't have much content. I'm not talking about just image blocks. I am talking about there's text, any kind of content that could exist on the site, it's lacking. And let's see here. So this page could be considered thin content. There's about 2 paragraphs, a button, and an image. This can be considered thin content. However, it is my about page. So this is thin content. Also, if you're writing blog articles, there used to be a time where about 700 words for your blog article was enough. Today, that is no longer the case. A lot of people are creating blog articles that are 12 to 1500 words in one article. And that's your standard article, because there's a new wave of content that's been coming in the form of guides, and these are like mini chapter books. So thin content, a rule of thumb that you want to follow from now on, your blog articles should range from the 12 to 1500 word limit. That's your thin content. Missing titles, right? So we talked about your H1 tag. Now we're going to talk about the title. So this is our page title, right? It's also the H1 tag, which is good. If you can get that to happen on your site, you want that to happen. You want your page title to match your H1 tag. But speaking of your page title now, so a missing title means you have no title selected to show here, right? You have no title selected to show here. So you lose the opportunity to optimize your article or your web page further for Google, as well as you lose an opportunity to show in the SERP without a page title. You may be found but not indexed. You may be crawled but not indexed when you check your Google Search Console. So you always want to make sure that you have your page title there, which we spoke about earlier, is about 60 characters. That's just another ranking factor. Next is duplicate title. So as your website continues to grow, you continue to create more content, and your website starts to have more pages, you run into issues where you have duplicate titles. It's that simple. So these duplicate titles confuse Google. But for example, if I were to have 2 articles with this same exact title, this will confuse Google, because which one is the real one, right? And not only that, both of these pages, let's say they have completely different content. The only thing is that the titles are the same. They're competing with each other, not even for the SERP, but they're also competing for each other in the eyes of Google. Because now Google is looking at both of these pages. They're unsure of which article is going to be holding the strongest weight, and they'll have to make that decision based off of other factors. Some of these factors may not even be in your control. So you want to go through your site, make sure that your page titles aren't duplicated so that you aren't confusing Google, and you are making sure that your intentions of having a specific page ranking for specific keywords are seen clearly. Now, duplicate content. Duplicate content can get a little tricky. There used to be, those black hat techniques where people would really create duplicate pages of the same exact thing. I remember I was brought on, this was maybe 8 years ago, to help a photo studio in Harlem, and the manager was using a black hat tactic where they would create the same article over and over and over again. So they created about 25 articles of the same thing, and they just changed the titles and the subheadings to boudoir photography in Harlem, boudoir photography in Brooklyn, boudoir photography in New York, boudoir photography in the city. So that's what they were doing. So that's gonna lead you to duplicate content. If you're doing that, I do recommend you stop immediately. It's a waste of your time. And it's not really going to be doing you any good. And so that's duplicate content. However, there are other duplicate content issues that you can run into, and this is determined by Google. If they find that one or multiple pages on your site have a certain percentage, I don't know the algorithm. No one really knows the full algorithm. So they're going to find a certain percentage where things just look too similar, right, on your website, like one page to another. So they're going to mark it as duplicate content. And when you go to Google Search Console, you will see what pages are marked as duplicate content. And then you can fix that. If they are truly duplicate content, right, in your eyes as well, then you can use a canonical tag to fix that. And to be proactive about duplicate content, you can use self-referring canonical tags. So that's out of the scope of this video. Mainly, I wanted to discuss with you the on-page ranking factors that you want to pay attention to when you're running an SEO content audit. And I'm just going to quickly recap that for you. That's your missing H1 tags. That is your page title. Is it too long? Is it too short? Ideally, you want to be at 60 characters. Now, your meta description, is it too short or is it too long? You want to be at 160 characters. In some cases, Google may show more characters for your case, but you always want to make sure that your full description and everything that you need to say is in your first 160. Then content. If you're going to create content, make it valuable. Don't post articles for the sake of posting articles. People are already not reading as much as they used to. So if you're going to create content, make it valuable. The more valuable you make it, chances are it will not be considered thin content, because you're going to be including more and more, because you want your site visitors, your readers, your audience to get the most value from you as possible. Now, missing titles, you always double check that all your web pages have a meta title. Double check that there aren't duplicate titles. And lastly, check your duplicate content, which can be found in your Google Search Console. Boom. That is it for your SEO content audit. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Jump over to madmarketingpro.com if you want to learn a little bit more about marketing in terms of leadership, in terms of being a business leader. And this applies to anybody in the real world, anybody in business. It doesn't actually matter what your current job title is. There's a certain way to portray and present yourself for success and to really make sure that you're getting everything it is that you want. I teach more about masculinity and leadership on my Patreon channel. I'll leave a link to that below. As always, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, share this video with anyone who you think will gain some value from it, and I'll see you guys next time.